Sam Agastya. Ma'am, you have told, sir, you have told this in a video. If it's on the outside, it controls less squares, and if it's on the inside, it controls more squares. You have told this in a video, right?
That is for the bishops and the knights, not for the rooks. So rooks is always the same, right? You can check it for yourself, and that's what I've said in the video also. Bishops, it changes.
Sir, I was saying about the knight.
Knight, it is always.
Sir, the
you can
rooks
see, right?
can also exchange the king, right?
No, see, wait. We are not talking about exchanges here. We are only talking about
Sir,
what is the squares it controls. Okay. So that is a way to understand why the center is important. Exchange, etc. Let us learn it separately. We will learn separately. Here we are just saying the geometry of the chessboard and how the pieces get their power. So the knight, if it is at the corner of the chessboard, there are 4 corners. Any corner it goes, it has minimum power 2. Only 2 squares it attacks. But as it comes toward the center, it starts increasing the power. And when it reaches the broad center, it reaches full power of 8 squares. Okay. All right. Rooks is always 14, no matter what. Okay. Now, now we are going to look at queen. Can you tell me how much would a queen control the squares if it is on the edge of the chessboard, like here on, let us say E1, it is on the outer edge, E1 square. Okay, how many squares will the queen control from the edge of the board? I will give a clue. Queen moves like a rook, plus it also moves like a bishop. Right, it can move diagonally, it can move straight, and this one also like a rook.
So can it control 20 squares?
21 squares, you will find it. And how does the 21 come? We'll see it. We'll quickly see it, but it is 7 plus 14. Rook is giving you 14 and bishop at the edge of the board is giving you 7. So at the edge of the board, queen will contain 21 squares. You want to see it very quickly. Let us put the position with a queen instead of black knight.
Sir, I thought it's 20. Sir.
No, it is 21. It will be. It will not be 20. Okay. You want to see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6,
yes, sir. There is
7.
one more square.
This is like a rook. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is the rook's 14. It has got it. Now let us see. It takes like a bishop also. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You will always get it 21, no matter on the outside edge, anywhere you put the queen. On the outermost square, anywhere you put it and you count it, you will always get 21. Okay. And that is because of mathematics. Because
so the queen is a combination of a rook plus a bishop.
Exactly. You got it. And that is why it is there. But now let me ask you, if the queen comes on the next inner square anywhere here, right? How many squares will it control? If it is not on the outermost, it is on the next innermost square anywhere, like B2, B3 or C2, D2, etc. anywhere. Now you know the clue. Just now you have given the answer. So now.
Sir, could it be 23 squares?
Absolutely right. Because 23 is 14 plus 9. 14 of the rook plus 9 of the bishop.
Yeah, 23 plus.
Absolutely right. So 21, it becomes 23 when it comes inside. Okay, now next question. What if the queen is anywhere on the broad center, which is the third innermost square, right? Third innermost, 4 by 4.
25.
Sir, 25.
Correct.
25.
Because
25.
it is 14 plus 11 is 25. Right?
25. 11 plus 14.
Correct. Absolutely right. 25. And what if the queen is in the core center? E4, D4, E5? d5, these red squares here, right? What if the queen is here? How many squares will it control?
27.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
27.
Because
27.
correct. 14 plus 13
Plus
is
14.
yeah 27. Can you see 27 is a very large number, right? Total number of squares are 64. The queen itself is occupying one square plus it is controlling 27 squares. So 28 out of 64, right? It is almost like 46%, right, of the chessboard it controls from the center. So that is why center is very, very important. Okay. So I hope now you realize it, why center is very important. And okay, now I hope why you, okay, let us put one more thing. Let us put it, or let us see, let us take a new game. Okay. Now, if you make a move like this, it is considered as a bad move. Why? Do you know why? Knight to h3. Or black plays knight to h.
So which move can you show?
Yeah, first move that I made, knight to h3. Any knight when you put to the edge of the board, it is not considered as a good move. Versus what is the other thing? You could have moved the knight to f3. Okay, and this is considered as a good move. Knight to f3 is considered as a good move. Knight to h3 is considered as a bad move. Can you tell why?
So because if he moves his pawn in front, then the bishop can easily capture the.
No, it is more than that. It is just now the answer lies in what we studied just now. If the knight is on the edge of the chessboard, maximum squares it will control is 4.
Sir?
4. But if it is there in the broad center, it will control 8 squares.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir,
Can you
sir,
see?
sir, I want to see that. Sir, if you continue the game, if the pawn moves to
I got that. If the pawn d7 pawn moves to
d5,
d6 or
then the
d5,
bishop can directly kill it, right?
that's okay. That's okay. But that is not the reason why it is bad. It is bad because half of the knight's power is going outside of the chessboard. It is getting wasted. It can only control 4 squares from here. But if you put it on f3 or c3, then it is controlling all 8 squares, right? You realize just now what we saw, right?
Oh, sir, so its power is going down. So that's why it's a bad move.
Yeah. So that is why, because the knight is having half of its power going outside. Yeah. So yeah. Type your question. I said, I suggest that you type your question.
Can the queen?
Yes. Can the queen what?
Can the queen control the more squares, like the most squares?
It can control the maximum number of squares on the chessboard, which is 27. No other piece can control anything close to that also. And that is why the queen is very powerful. That is the reason. Okay. Because it can move.
Powerful.
Very powerful it is. Right. It is like a rook and a
So what is the maximum number of squares that the queen can control?
Queen can only control 27 maximum. We saw that in the core 7. It cannot go more than 27. Nothing can go more than 27. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now you have realized the importance of the center. Okay. So this is the power of the centralization. Okay. So this is whatever I showed you. It is all written here. Okay. So I will not again read it, but this is what it is. Okay. Now, so that is why if you see in any good expert games, expert players, they play the chess, right? You will find that they are always controlling the center, and both of them are trying to control the center. You will find it. For example, I have shown it to you in this position here, right? If you see what has white has moved e2 to e4, black moved e7 to e5. See, both of them are trying to get a foothold in the center. See, the green ones are the ones which squares that white controls, right, with his pawn, and the this one yellow one are the ones that the black controls. But what happened? You got a control of the center, right? And after that, you moved, the knight has gone to f3. White has played after that knight to f3. It's a good move because it is controlling the squares in the center, as well as total knight has become its full powerful. Now it can control all 8 squares, right? It has reached its power, right? So knight to f3 is a good move. Multiple for multiple this, right? Plus now your bishop is also opened, right? So let us look at this in the on the chessboard. So what happens is, if you play e2 to e4, right, new variation, what happens? You are having a control in one square. You are also controlling this square. You are also controlling this square. So plus you are opening the diagonal for the queen, and you are opening the diagonal for the bishop, right? So e4 is a very good move. And similarly for black, e5 is a very good move because it controls these squares, it occupies the center, and it opens these diagonals for the bishop and the queen to move. Okay, you're not. So, okay, Agastya, you had raised a hand. I suggest you type your question. That is better. Or if it is not possible, then you can ask. Okay, fine. So then what we saw is that what is a good move? Knight to f3, not knight to h3. Knight h3 is a bad move because half of the power of the knight is gone outside, wasted. But instead, knight to f3 is a very good move because it makes it controls how many key squares. See, it controls this, attacks this opponent's pawn, it controls this square, it can jump here, it can jump here. If required, or at least it will control, because it is controlling those squares, the opponent's queen cannot come here, right? Because the knight is attacking this square, so queen will not be able to come. So it's a very good move. Similarly for black, knight to c6 is a very good move because the knight is coming to the broad center, getting its full power, and black is defending its central pawn and also attacking the d4 square. So it is also controlling many squares. It also controls this square. It controls this square, right? So it's a good move. Okay. So this is how actually experts play. If you see behind it, they will say that they will be controlling the center. Okay. Both of them will be having a share of the center. Okay. I have given this explanation here. You can go through it. What each move makes. Explained it in detail. So what I just now showed, right? So you go through it. So this is how the chess games have to be opened. Okay. And what do you call, these are good ways of opening because you create the thing. In fact, another way for you to play is also play this, because what happens is this diagonal, sorry, what happens is this diagonal gets opened for the bishop. Queen also gets some ability to move ahead, and the central pawn again you are opening out the pen. So you are controlling this and this again with your d4 pawn, right? It's a very good way to open. And now you see how many how your bishops can move now. So you have got a very good development. Okay. Yeah, of course, queen can always, anything can kill anything. Okay, only thing that you are not allowed to do is you're not allowed to kill the opponent's king, because that ends the game. So that is considered as the end of the game when you are about to kill the opponent's king. But queen can kill queen, a pawn can also kill a queen. Okay, anything can kill a queen. Pawn can kill it, knight can kill it, bishop can kill it, no problem. King can also kill a queen, but queen cannot kill a king. When it becomes inevitable that the king is going to get killed, that is when the end of the game, and that is what we say checkmate. Okay, fine. So this is how the thing. So I hope you have seen the videos. If you have any questions, I will wait. And I have illustrated this using the colors and explained it. But remember, try to See, this is how you play. Try to open the mouse like this. Okay, then it is a good way to open. Okay. Try to control the center. Try to occupy the central pawns, and put your knights on. If you are white, try to put your knights on f3 and c3, right? And if you are black, try to put your knights on f6 and c6. Okay, try to open the e pawns and the d pawns so that your bishops and the queen can get scope to move, and you also control the center. This should be your right now. This should be your strategy when you try to open the game. Okay, don't open with a side pawn like a rook pawn, etc. Try to open with e4. Okay, because you are taking a step in the center. You can also play d4. That is also okay. Good move. E4 is also good move. Okay, try to play these moves, and similarly from the black side also you try to play e5 or d5, right? And then continue, right? So that way you will get a good game and your pieces will come out quickly, and then you can play the rest of the game very effectively. If your entire army can come out, then you can fight the battle with full power, right? If your some of your army that remain in the camp only, right, then even if you have the army, it is no use, right? So first move, I suggest you start with e4, e2 to e4. This is what we saw here. First move, e4 is a very good move, very good move. So I suggest this is a way.
Okay,
And
sir.
black also try to play e5, right? Because it opens.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Then if you are, then you play knight f.
So I want to use them in tomorrow's tournament.
Yes, absolutely. Try to use it. Try to use it. See, and now you know why. It is not just because I am telling you, but now you know why. Because
Okay,
the
sir.
knight is controlling the center. It is having a full power. Bishop is getting opened. That is the reason why you should play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, etc. Okay, you can play knight f6 also. e4, e5. Another way for black to play is counter attack. You can play f6. So if white kills the black pawn, black is saying I can also kill your pawn, right? And I'm also bringing my other knight out, which is controlling the similar good squares. So this is also a way to play. Okay. All right. That is pretty much that. And
Yes, sir.
okay. Cool. Good. So that is pretty much it. So go through the.
Thanks for the.
You're welcome. And now I hope that you will be utilizing this in tomorrow. Try to control the center tomorrow when you are playing in the arena. Okay. So, and go through this handout again, and especially this explanation that I have given for each of the moves. Go through it once or twice so that you fully understand it and then you apply it. Okay. All right.